You were running for president as an independent, and the last independent was also assassinated, right? Abraham Lincoln. So, I've known, I've looked up and they said that they won't give you Secret Service, right? And, you move around, right, as a presidential candidate, and you've talked about the threats upon your life, right? So how do you feel as far as your own safety of being assassinated with being so much death in your family? And then the next part of that is, if you were elected to be president, would you then release the files of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Robert F. Kennedy, and John F. Kennedy? And would you keep that promise, which is hard to say as a politician?
I'm going to release all those documents.
The day.
Yeah, that's going to be a big day. I'm going to sign an executive order forbidding all federal agents, any federal employee from lying to the public. And the executive order is going to say any federal officer, official who lies to the public in conjunction with his official duties is going to immediately lose his job. I'm going to pass another executive order, day one, forbidding the CIA from propagandizing American people, ending Operation Mockingbird, which was banned. The CIA admitted in 1973 that it had 400 reporters under contract, the leading reporters and journals in our country. They promised to stop doing that. They legally could not do it. Their charter forbids them from propagandizing Americans. They're allowed to propagandize abroad, and the CIA today is the largest funder of journalism in the world. They funnel $10 billion a year into bribing journalists, blackmailing them. They own many newspapers across Europe, Africa, Latin America, and Asia. And they're legally allowed to do it, but they're not allowed to do it here. But
if they spread news that is ran in another country, then we pick it up in this country.
Yeah, but they're also, in 2016, Obama changed the rule and allowed them to start propagandizing us again. And there's strong, there's a series of articles recently by CIA historians, including David Talbot and Dick Russell, that have shown that many of the journals, including Daily Beast, Rolling Stone, now in control of the CIA, the editor, which was when I was growing up, it was the counterculture critic of the CIA. They published the article by Carl Bernstein in 1973, revealing all the CIA involvement in American journalism. They are now under control of their editor-in-chief, is a guy with very, very strong ties to the national security community. Daily Kos, Salon, Slate, probably National Geographic, and Scientific American, but a lot of our journals, and then the Washington Post and New York Times. These historians have documented who and exactly how the CIA is doing it. A lot of it's obscure, but they also control the social media. The ARPANET, which was the original internet grid, was constructed by DARPA, which is part of the national security community. The CIA has a hedge fund, an investment fund called In-Q-Tel. And In-Q-Tel moved headquarters to Silicon Valley, and they were building Google and Facebook and all of these major social media platforms. Those platforms all have huge contracts with the security industry or the security apparatus. And we know from the Twitter files, from my lawsuit, Kennedy versus Biden, from the attorney generals in Missouri and Louisiana lawsuit, Murtha versus Biden, we have discovery in those suits that show that President Biden opened up a portal which was run by the FBI to all of the social media companies, and that portal was used by about a dozen federal agencies, including the CIA, including CISA, NIH, CDC, the IRS, DHS, and other agencies to censor voices on the internet. So we have now, and now we're seeing the rise of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And that's going to give these agencies this extraordinary capacity that's been unknown in human history to control not only human communications, but also our perception of reality. And it's frightening. And I think we need a president in office who's going to protect our constitutional rights, who's going to protect our values, and to make sure that AI, as it grows, is a mechanism for the public holding government accountable rather than a mechanism for the government to control us and to surveil us and to silence dissent.